Have you ever noticed that we are usually very motivated when we go to sleep the previous night? We usually decide that tomorrow will be the day when everything changes. I'll be so up to date with work and be really disciplined and be in control of my time. But after we wake up, we are so overwhelmed with the five or more things we have to get done that day. So we either sleep off again or open our social media account or waste the productive morning hours doing a bunch of other things. When we again get back to our studies, it's already mid morning and we again spiral back into procrastination, beating oneself up, and then deciding that tomorrow will be better. But this repeats again tomorrow because we don't install changes in today. Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Soumi Das. I did my UG from AIMS Bhubaneswar. I recently cleared the INICET and NEETPG entrance examinations and got decent ranks in both. In this video, I would love to share my micro and macro plan for this examination as well as my daily schedule. I have planned a series of videos regarding my NEETPG journey. So if you're interested in this type of content and want to follow along my journey, subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any videos. I would greatly appreciate. In the last video, which was also my first YouTube video, I talked about my journey overall and gave an overview of myself as a person and as a student. If you haven't watched that video, go watch that video. I'll put the link in the description box below. Anyway, I love micromanaging and micro planning my life, and that is what I did for this exam also. And the biggest benefit of that for my life was that it removed the clutter from my mind. The scenario that I tried to paint in the beginning of the video used to happen to me a lot couple of years back, and I presume it must be happening to a lot of you also. And the only solution to that is to pre-plan your day ahead of time. We human beings are also creatures of nature, so studying consistently for 9 to 10 hours per day for 1 to sometimes 3 years is difficult, and the only solution for that is to ingrain that habit in oneself. That's the benefit of time blocking your day, your tasks into specific time blocks, and then following through that time block. It reduces the confusion of choosing one task over another because every task has its set time. Now enough with the whys, let me take you through the macro plan for these examinations. I knew revision was the key, so I packed in 3 rounds of revision before the main examination. I started my main first reading from 15th of January 2022 and I finished it by 31st of March. The first round of revision was from 1st to 20th of April, the second round was from 21st to 30th of April, and the final round of revision, that is the third revision, was from 1st to 6th of May. Now I wanted to study again in an INI, so after the INICET examination was over and it went satisfactorily, I didn't study anything for NEETPG. But if that had not been the case, then I would have packed in one more round of revision from 11th to 19th of May. Now going to the micro plan, I did my first reading from 15th of January to 31st of March. That was 76 days, that is 10 weeks, 6 days. So I made a schedule for those 10 weeks and kept the 6 days as buffer for days when I didn't feel like studying or for days when I went somewhere. I used to study one big subject and one relatively short subject each week. I clubbed similar subjects together. See, our medical science can be divided into surgical subjects and medical subjects and sub-subjects which don't fall anywhere. So I used to club subjects like physio, path, pharm, micro, leading to medicine, and included the smaller medical short subjects in between. Similarly, pediatrics and OBG I clubbed together, anatomy, orthopedics and surgery. See, so you basically get the gist. Basically what happens is these subjects have a lot of overlapping topics, so when read together it saves time. I used to give 3 hours per day for grant test or grant test related reviews, and for the rest remaining 6 to 7 hours of the day I would go through these two subjects. I used to wake up at 6:45 every day and start studying from 7 a.m. Every day, I used to start with a smaller, shorter subject to wake up my brain. Then I would have breakfast and then start with the grand test on Sundays or review the grand test for the rest of the week. Around 12:30, after a 30-minute break, I would again go back to the smaller subject and read it. Following that, I would bathe, have lunch, relax with some Netflix, and take an afternoon nap. Afternoon nap was very important for me to relax my brain after a focused and intense 5-hour study period. The prospect of sleeping would also motivate me to study in a more focused way during the periods when I'm studying. That's weird. Anyway, from 4 to 7 p.m., I would again sit down and study the major big subject. It's important that we incorporate at least 1 to 2 3-hour study periods so that we get into the habit of sitting straight for 3 hours during the examination. After that, I would again take some break, relax, go out for a walk, talk with family, friends, have dinner, watch some Netflix, and whatever makes me happy. From 10 p.m. to 11 p.m., I would go through mixed previous year questions, which helped me to read some other topics which was not included in my scheduled topics for that week. That I would make a list of important topics, and that used to be my 20th notebook, so which greatly helped me in revision. From 11 p.m. to midnight or sometimes even 1 a.m. depending on my energy and my mood, I would again go back to the bigger subject and read it. On days when I'm feeling very sleepy, I would rather solve some custom modules. As you can see, my schedule is very laid back and relaxed, with intermittent, very focused periods of studying. I believe that it's no use studying for 16 to 18 hours a day or few days and then not studying for days altogether. I had done that mistake myself during my internship, and I made sure not to repeat it. I knew this was a marathon and not a sprint. So studying consistently for 9 to 10 hours per day for a longer duration of time was more beneficial than the above approach. For the first round of revision, I had 20 days, but I gave 3 grand tests in between, and the rest of those days I would spend on reviewing those grand tests or covering up my backlogs. I also had my birthday in between, so I took 2 days off in between. So effectively I had 15 days and 19 subjects to cover. Again, I pre-planned those 15 days in advance. I would go through my important list of topics, and then if any time was remaining, I would read other topics. Selective reading is very important. I also focused on actively recalling the information rather than passively reading my notes. For the second round of revision, I had 10 days and I gave 2 grand tests in between, so effectively 8 days. This time I reviewed the subjects planned for the day via the grand tests that I had already given, and then I would go through the important topic list that I had made. Remaining time I would watch Free and Academy videos of Dr. Boya ma'am, mainly the Midnight Express revision series, the Puri Tarah Ratto series and the Crack NEET series. For the third round of revision, I mainly flipped through my notes selectively, via mostly the important and volatile topics. I went through the screenshots that I had collected for months, the bookmarked MCQs from the previous grand tests and the previous year questions. On the day prior to the main examination, the D-Day, it's more important to relax than trying to recall everything. I had made a list of 10 to 15 important topics that I passively flipped throughout the day. It's more important to do passive revision than active recall on the last day, because I feel if we can't recall the information, it increases our worry and that can lead to chaos. So this was my detailed timetable and schedule. I'm not claiming this to be perfect or that blindly following this will give you results. I'm not qualified enough to tell you what will work. And I feel that is something that each one of us should discover about ourselves. We should analyze our study pattern, our study style, how fast we can revise or how long we can retain. But this schedule can be used as a guideline to help you make your own personalized timetable, which will be specific for you. And once you can find that level of self-awareness, you'll do better than how you are doing today. This much for today's video. If you like the content or the effort, you can show that by smashing the like button. Any suggestions, in good or bad, in the comment section would help me improve my video making skills. Also comment down below the type of videos you want me to make. Thank you for watching this content and have a nice day ahead.